the 4th generation monsters.
Hello?
They deserve love too.
I'm right here.
They belong in the new world.
Glavenus!
Let's stand up and fight for all of them.
Seriously, look at me!
Okay, yes, Glavenus, I know you specifically made it.
That's because I'm the best.
Hello, my fellow hunters! I was having my nightly scroll through all of the monsters in the game, naming each one of them as I kiss them goodnight and wish them sweet dreams, when I noticed that, well, the 4th generation is actually really crazily underrepresented in world, almost entirely if it wasn't for, yes, Glavenus. There's plenty from the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and obviously, you know, it invented the 5th, but the 4th is kind of just... And look, while this video was initially inspired to be just, let's put more 4th gen monsters in world! Who's with me? Oh, everyone? Shocking! I do kind of want to just talk about my actual love for the 4th gen, because the more I think about it, the more I think it might be, well, the best generation of monster. It doesn't have my favorite in, but it has 2 of them in my top 5. It's so, well, if not the best, it's definitely the most diverse. You have straight up frogs, then you get to go over to spiders and snakes and insect tanks that combine with their smaller counterpart. You get golden mantises and rocket-powered elder dragons. It's just crazy and chaotic and colourful and just the carnage of beautiful Monster Hunter that everyone adores. Obviously, the deviants, all ridiculous, don't get me wrong, but certainly they have their flair and are all memorable experiences. Except you, Crystalbeard Uragan. And I think it's that level of diversity across it all that makes it the greatest shame it's the least dipped into when it comes to populating world and then Iceborne. And granted, it's obviously because of the skeleton issue. It's because they wanted to limit it a little bit to, well, the basics, you could say. The pillars, the brute wyverns, the flying wyverns, the elder dragons, your meaty monsters, your leviathans and your insecty weirdness may be saved for a later time when an entire new everything wasn't being put into place. But even back at the original leak way back when, before World came out, we were supposed to get a Roshi Kirin, and that still might happen, but I think, well, it might be looking more and more unlikely by the day. I still adore the idea of a little Gore Magala saga, the story surrounding that, dealing with Frenzy, have a whole video talking about it, and I think it'd be a really fun, meaty update and a really nice story beat and a lovely content injection for us to enjoy. But more than anything, I think it is that diversity, the idea of seeing a Nursilla scuttling around the Rotten Vale, seeing a Celtus past you in the Guiding Lands as eventually the Queen comes to follow, seeing Examtrios's fin carving through the snowy tundra. What? What? I mean, the idea of giving all the New World Hunters that reaction, that experience of seeing his phases from badass ice armor to, what, he's a balloon! I would adore it. The amount that they could do with something like Ketchawacha, his swingy shenanigans around the ancient forest, the dense trees and foliage giving him a right playground to explore within. You don't have to have these very clearly artificial platforms built into certain zones to allow him to function. He can just so freely and freeform maneuver around the environment, and a monster like that gains so much from the extra fluidity fluidity that World allows, the extra movement, the extra oomph that all of the just sexy animations actually end up being. And that is something fantastic. And then you look at something like Valstrax, and he makes so much sense. He can comment on over to the new world. He can get there probably easier than nearly anything else. And that is something fantastic fun to hunt, and something very unique. And let's be honest, we all want to see a turf war that is Valstrax versus Nergigante.
Oh, look at you with those spikes, you little sack of hate! You think the hunters care about all of those elder dragons you ate? They'll tear you limb from limb and even dodge your silly dive bomb, but if I take the every hunter leaves the zone, so long!
Nergigante, and I'm here to say, who even the fuck are you anyway? I'm the Monster Hunter, Elder Dragon Slayer, main player of the best, biggest game, so refrain, don't complain. Accept the pain, after this you won't be the same.
Even something like Nakarkos swimming up from the ocean depths, having just, you know, chowed down on a couple of Sedeus pups, well, he can crawl himself out and start devouring the new world's ecosystems and create a new layer of bones deep in the Vale, and we can go try and figure out a way to finish him off. I think what it is as well with the 4th generations of monsters, and, well, oh my god, Mazios was here and he's just so good! Him and Malfestio are the 2 in my top 5. For context, he would be incredible too, but I think less easy to just slot in. But that's the thing. What I was going to say is, well, so many of the monsters in the 4th gen have so much about them that can turn themselves, their presence, their inclusion, into such an event, such a point of story, such a big deal. And perhaps that's why they've not appeared. It's hard to put an Atalkar into the game that makes a giant mech that smashes through fortresses and steals, well, everything for her little golden hoard, although, honestly, Kulftaroth versus Atalkar, yes please, without actually making that a big deal within the story, and they didn't want to do that. They didn't want us to get sidetracked with Atalkar. It's hard to put in, again, Nakarkos without showing its devastating extinction-level impact on an ecosystem. It's hard to put in a Gore Magala or Shagru Magala without having the frenzy virus felt, because they want World to be alive. They want it to be closer to the vision that they had back in Monster Hunter 1. They've said World is the closest Monster Hunter has ever been to that original, pure, natural, breathing vision, this world they wanted to bring to life. I mean, World, Monster Hunter World, that's not a coincidence. But so many of these monsters, if they were to do them justice in that, well, you know, appreciable impact, making sense, ecology level, they would have to divert a lot of resources, not just to making the monster, but for us to explore its colossal impact wherever it goes. You can't just shove in a Dalamadur without having it carve through mountains and be an actual full-on story threat. Well, I guess you can't include an alive Dalamadur. So I guess we can say there's 1.5 of the monsters from the 4th gen in here. So something like Molten Tigrex then would be perfect. We could just whack him in. He can roll around the Elder's Recess, the fire area of the Guiding Lands. That's lovely. Now Durala again, something like a snake. Oh, I need it so badly, but it does mean putting in that swooshy skeleton and set of animations, which could hopefully transition into maybe Leviathan, as they're very sneaky swooshy as well. But I don't think we're going to get this diverse cast returning until, well, the next game, Monster Hunter 6, or however it calls, the next generation, because we have maybe, what, 3, 4, 5 at most monsters coming to Iceborne, 1 or 2 of which is gonna be, let's be honest, Vitalis or Latrion Black Dragony, so it's not like we have a lot of room for the luxury of putting Malfestio, because seeing him perched in the ancient forest would make me so happy. I love owls! They fly silently! They're such perfectly designed killing machines, engineered by nature to be as graceful as they are deadly, and fucking hell, I love owls! So, you know what I'm saying? I love the 4th generation of monsters so much, and it's goddamn unfair they're not in World! Oh, granted as well, Deadeye Yangaruga, the Deviant, you know, Scarred Yangaruga, that's almost equivalent there, almost. And I do think something like Raging Brachydios, which is of course best Brachydios, so you could argue it's got 3 of my 5 favourite monsters in, that I really have a sneaking suspicion we'll get. A part of me thinks we'll get like a variant pack. Like, here's Rusted Kushaladora, here's Raging Brachydios, and here's a 3rd example that I can't think off the top of my head right now, but would totally be included. And then that would be really quite interesting and give us something that perhaps individually wouldn't be that exciting, but all of them together, yeah, suddenly there we go. Look, I realise I've not done more than start talking and just sing the praises of the 4th generations of monsters and some of its highlights, and you know what? I'm totally okay with that because I love this game, I love its creatures, and I love talking about them, and it makes me really sad that we've lost that spark of diversity even amidst how much of a masterpiece and truly the best Monster Hunter experience I do believe Iceborne to be. 4 Ultimate is a close second for me, and I have thousands of hours in it, and I just miss so many of them so dearly. So here's hoping in the future we get these quirky favourites back once more, and we can really use World's new template to explore them in a more meaningful story way than ever before. Dealing with Atlkar, dealing with Nakarkos, but in more than just, well, go down and kill it, and then you get a few text boxes explaining what happened, and cool! Actually seeing it in proper cutscenes and its effects are just, I want it! Let me know what you guys think, by the way. Let me know what your favourite gen is. Hell, top 5 monster gens coming up. But at the very least, let me know your favourite 4th gen monster. And for now, my guess, Glavernus will have to do. Like you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon. A good boy.
I'm so Regios and I have parrot feet. Haha.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kinda relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.